Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead, where for the last 8 years we've been building our dream life here in the Missouri Ozarks. A lot of you have been asking for videos where you can just see more of the day-to-day things that we do. And today we thought we'd bring you along for a more in-depth video on our morning chore routine.
A lot of times when we bring you guys along for chores, it's just snippets here and there. But we thought today we'd do just kind of like a long form version of our morning doing chores.
A lot of times this is how our morning starts, is getting our cup of coffee, coming out here to the porch, especially this time of year where the mornings are starting to be nice and cool. We have a beautiful view here from the porch, and it's just a great way to start the day. But the animals are already waking up and they are waiting for us. So we do need to get started on our actual chores this morning.
A couple things that you will notice, we don't have to do milking today because our dairy cow Babe is actually dried up. She will be calving in December and then we'll resume milking at that time.
Another thing that you may notice is that currently we do not have any rabbits here on the homestead. We are getting more rabbits very soon, so you'll be seeing those being added back into chores coming up, but we've taken a little break from rabbits. And then also this past summer I announced to you guys that I was going to be done raising quail. I don't know if it'll be forever, but I don't have any plans to get any more, at least over this winter. So, other than that, you're going to see all the chores that we need to do here on the homestead this morning. Let's get to work and let's let all of the animals enjoy their day. First thing we need to do this morning is get the UTV, because when we did chores yesterday, I noticed that several of the animals are completely out of feed.
We keep most of our feed out near the animals in garbage cans. And as they run out, we just need to bring a bag, fill it up, and it lasts for quite a long time.
So we're going to have to grab quite a few bags of feed. So we're going to jump on the UTV because it's way too many to carry by hand. Inside of this barn here is where we keep all of our animal feed when we buy it from the feed store, and then we dump it into the garbage cans in the various areas throughout the homestead. I know for a fact today that we're going to need 3 bags of chicken feed for the chickens, ducks, and geese in Waterville. We're also going to need 2 bags of pig feed for our 2 feeder pigs. And we're also going to need 1 additional bag of layer pellets for the grown-up breast chickens. As we were driving over to Waddlesville to fill up all the feed containers and let the animals out, I realized that the sides are still down on the greenhouse because we had a storm blow through last night, so I put the sides down overnight. But we need to open them back up, otherwise it's going to get too humid in there. These are just roll-up sides that just roll up like this. And then I just have these pieces of 1x2 that we just use to hold that up like that. All right, let's go to Waddlesville. So this is where we keep our feed out here in Waddlesville. We have 2 garbage cans and we keep them under this little like lean-to type thing. This smaller can is where we keep pig feed. And I think there's actually still enough in here to feed the pigs this morning. They get one of these buckets twice a day. I might give them a little more after we fill it up. And then this can over here is for the ducks, chickens, and geese that live out here. This will hold 150 pounds of feed, and that will hold about 100 pounds of feed. Now you can see, and probably hear, that all of the beef cows have also come over to say good morning. They think we're doing something really great here for all of the birds, and they might be missing out, even though they right now have our whole 20-acre hayfield to be eating out of. Let's go over and say good morning. Hi, cows. What does everybody want this morning?
You cannot be hungry.
Did you suddenly think that you're chickens and ducks? Because you're not. You're cows.
Good morning.
You're all cows. Well, and steers and a bull.
Good morning. Good morning, Cletus.
Is everybody here? What are you trying to tell us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Morning,
17,
Cindy.
18, 19.
You guys remember Ralphie here? This is Babe's calf. He has joined the beef herd. He is half Jersey, half Hereford. He's kind of the low man on the totem pole within the beef herd. But he is doing really well. He's such a big boy. He is going to end up being really nice meat for our family. Well, let's give this to the pigs so we can fill the feed bins and then let everybody else out. Piggy piggies! Piggy piggies! Piggy piggies!
The chickens, the ducks, and the geese here in Waterville, they get a 16% layer pellet feed. The feed that we use is from a local feed mill made right here in Ava, Missouri, where we live, and we like the fact that we're supporting local agriculture when we buy our feed. The pig feed is a pig grower feed, also made by the same feed mill, and we've always had great luck using this brand of pig feed. Now the ducks, chickens, and geese, like I said, they all eat exactly the same thing. Plus, they free range out here in Waddlesville all day, which this area is about 1/4 of an acre, maybe even a little more, and so they get all the bugs and everything else that they can eat all day. So we give them 3 of these scoops every day, which is quite a bit for these birds. Let's go let everybody out. We use these wooden feeders that I made a couple years ago. They're nice and long. We have 2 of them, and that way nobody has to be crowded when they're trying to eat in the morning. Good morning, birds. We separate the feed between all of the feeders. That way, as we let everybody else out, nobody's gonna try to fight for the food. The ducks can be a bit of a bully in the morning, and they try to steal the food from the chickens. everybody ends up with plenty, but this way there's more spaces for everybody to move around to. I always let the ducks out last so that everybody else gets a chance to eat first. Good morning, geese. Good morning, ducks. And one silky. I don't know why, but for the last week, there's been one silky hen who refuses to live with the other silkies, and she's decided to live with the ducks. We could try to force her to go back in with the chickens, but if she wants to live with the ducks, she can just live with the ducks. We don't really care. The ducks don't seem to mind. They're not bullying her at all. Maybe they like having a hen in with them. I don't know. But she seems perfectly happy living with the ducks.
All of the birds here in Waddlesville use an automatic waterer that we have here. It is actually a crystal-lick tub or like a mineral lick tub that we've drilled holes all around, and then there's a float inside of there hooked up to a hose. So every time the water level goes down, it fills back up to the right level. Now this works particularly well for the ducks and the geese because they love to dig in water. If we would just have a water bowl, they would be swimming in it and flipping it everywhere and creating a big muddy mess. But having a waterer like this, it prevents them from spilling water everywhere, but it allows all the birds to get as much water as they need.
Now that everything is done in Waddlesville, we're going to head over to the turkeys. The turkeys live in this section of our chicken moat. And it looks like they need water this morning. Looks like their water got knocked over overnight, either by a wild animal or the wind or something like that. They're on one of these automatic 5-gallon waterers, and once we fill this, it usually lasts them about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days before we need to fill it again, so that's pretty good. But when it gets empty, it gets knocked over easily. And one of the turkeys likes to try to roost on this every single night, even though they end up having to go in their hoop coop at night. Every night when we come out here, one of them is up on here and we need to chase it off and remind it that it needs to go in. So let's go ahead and fill up their water before we let them out this morning. I could probably make them an automatic waterer like we have for the animals over in Waddlesville, but since they're only here for a short time, this works out just fine.
Now it rained overnight, so their feeder is kind of yucky. I'm just gonna let them out. Their feed is on the inside, so I'll go get more feed after they come out.
This last bag of chicken feed is for our laying flock of American breast chickens, which are on the other side of our orchard area here. We could drive it over there or we could walk it over there. It's probably a horse apiece, so today I'm just going to carry it over there. All right, their garbage can is inside of their coop, so we need to let them out before we take this in to fill it up.
Well, before I let them out, I'm gonna just check their water level. It's actually fine. They have the exact same water as the turkeys, and it's working out really well for them. Well, our laying hens get one full scoop for a feed a day. There are only 10 total of them, and they also forage in the chicken moat all day. Now, our hens, they are going through a pretty hard molt right now. One of them actually barely has any feathers at all, and that's really common for this time of year for them to lose their feathers and then grow new feathers before winter. What it means though is that the chickens slow down and almost completely stop laying during a molt. Hopefully they'll grow back and they'll start laying just for a little bit of time before they really just kind of go on strike for the winter. Most chickens take the winter off of laying. It has a lot to do with how much sunlight there is. The shorter days mean it's dark longer, and then they don't produce as many eggs.
Now that they're out and eating, I can fill up their garbage can with their food. Now their garbage can would hold a lot more than one bag at a time, but because they don't go through a bag super fast, I only bring them one bag at a time. It does really make morning chores a lot more convenient to have the food right where all of the animals are. We didn't used to do that. We'd have to go to the feed barn every day, fill up buckets and carry it around to everybody. And that works okay, but on days when it's either raining or the weather's really cold, it sure is nice to have it right here. We hatched out about 25 of the American breast chickens this year to raise for meat, and that's what these chickens are. They've got about 3 weeks left before they will be ready to process. They are growing really well. Now, we don't raise the American breasts in tractors like we did when we raised Cornish cross. Instead, we let them have a hoop coop, and we do give them a small outside area. We don't let them completely free range because, first of all, for most of their lives, they're too small and they can fit through the fence here in the chicken moat area. But also, you do want to give them a little bit of a smaller area so that they want to stay around their food and eat so that they actually grow at a nice rate. The American breasts are truly a dual purpose chicken and are ready to process in about 16 weeks, which in our experience is the fastest of any of the dual purpose chickens that we have tried.
I'm going out to brush Babe now. Babe is our Jersey milk cow. This area that she is in right now, she has access to this whole paddock. It's about four to 5 acres. But it looks like right now she's hanging out in our bullpen, which is fine. We have that open for her too. And we would like for her to eat that down before we have to keep our bull in there over the winter. So I'm gonna go in there and brush her and say hello. Even though she's dried up now, I want to make sure that she still gets human contact every day or so. And I like to just make sure that her udder still looks good, that there's no signs of mastitis that I would need to treat her for. This time is really important for her because it gives her udder time to just kind of rest and relax. If there's any possibility of subclinical mastitis in there, being dried up like this right now gives her udder an opportunity to do any kind of healing that it needs. So this is really an important time for her. I'm not bringing her up to the barn every day to give her feed. She doesn't need any extra calories right now because she is dry. So going out there and brushing her and being around her keeps her nice and tame. She really does enjoy being brushed too, so I know she looks forward to it when I come out there. She just really soaks it up when I get to brush and scratch all over those itchy spots that she can't get to by herself.
We're not really sure why the cows are being extra noisy this morning, so we are going to run out into the hayfield, just make sure that their water and everything like that is working. Chances are there's absolutely nothing wrong. They have plenty of grass to eat out here. The thing with cows that we've learned is after they've been in a spot for a few weeks or a month, no matter how much food they have, they want to go somewhere else. It's that whole the grass is always greener on the other side type of thing. But they need to stay out here because we need them to eat this down. So even though they want to move somewhere else, they don't get to move somewhere else until we're ready for them to. But we do want to go out there and just make sure everything is okay. They still have minerals. They still have, that their water isn't, out or anything like that. And just to make sure everything is safe for them. So we're using an electric fence to keep them in the hayfield. And because they're right here, we're going to have to be kind of fast about going through here with the UTV. So basically, I have it turned off right now. Sarah's going to just put her foot on it to hold it to the ground so I can drive over it with the UTV. Then we need to get it back on as fast as possible because these two strands of electric fence are the only thing keeping the cows in the hayfield and not having them join us up on the porch for our morning coffee. So we need them to stay on that side of the fence.
You're okay. You're good. That's stuck. Oh, try. Keep going. I think it's okay. Watch out.
Hi, Fanny. This is Fanny. She's our most tame beef cow. Yes, she's a good girl, but she always wants to get scratched. Here we go. Coming through. Well, it looks like their water's working fine. Yeah, they got plenty of fresh water. So you can see it's hooked to a hydrant over on that side. So that's all working fine. I think they're just being kind of bossy this morning. While we're out here, we are going to just take this chance to drive around the hayfield and check all the fences and just make sure everything looks good. Other than that, we don't really have daily chores that we do with the beef cows. As long as we can see them every day and we know that they're okay, that's all we really care about. All right, we're going to go check the fences, make sure everything looks good, and then we're going to head back to the greenhouse. Chicken food was in there. You're not a chicken. Why do you want to eat chicken food?
Yeah.
Well, it's starting to rain again, so we decided to put the UTV away and head back to the greenhouse.
Next on the list is to water the greenhouse. We do not need to water the raised beds out in the garden area because we've gotten quite a bit of rain actually. We just got 1.5 inches of rain just a couple days ago, and then it rained a little bit overnight. But we do need to water in the greenhouse. We are only about 3 weeks away from our first frost, so things are really winding down. The The peppers are still doing really well, but really everything else in the greenhouse is kind of on its last legs. It's like they know that the winter is coming, and so they're just kind of winding down. So we are going to water the entire greenhouse today. Within the greenhouse, we have two different zones that we water. We water them for about 5 to 7 minutes each, so let's get the first one started.
Well, we're not going to make you watch the sprinklers go off for the next 14 minutes, so this is where we are going to wrap up today's video. We hope this gave you guys kind of a true picture of what morning chores are like here on the homestead. It's a pretty busy morning every day to make sure that everybody is well taken care of.
Sometimes it's even longer when we're milking, but now we don't have to do that, so we get a little bit of a break until December.
And in a little bit, when we have rabbits again, that will add some more chores as well. But somehow we manage to always fit them all in, along with all of the other things we need to do throughout the day.
You guys, we're so happy that you joined us today for the morning chores. If you're enjoying videos like this, make sure that you hit the subscribe button below. And remember that the best way you can help us here on the homestead is just to share our videos on your social media. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.